Is your website a gallery of old photos and a contact form that says we'll be in touch shortly? Then it's not a marketing asset, it's a bottleneck. And in a slowing market, bottlenecks don't just slow growth, they shrink your margins. Today we're talking about turning your website from a digital brochure into a digital employee. One that qualifies, filters, positions, and books without you lifting a finger. Because if your website isn't working while you sleep, it's not working hard enough.
Welcome to Married to Landscaping, a podcast for the women who sit behind landscapers, navigating the stress of the business while wanting more time, balance and joy at home. Your host Yasmin Shaf is a landscaper's wife, a mum of 3 and the founder of Hive Drive, a software platform helping landscapers to work smarter so families come first.
Let's be honest, most landscaping websites, and I've audited hundreds, look a little bit like this. A few nice photos on there from 2010, a vague about us, a list of services, contact form, no way to book a site visit, no filtering, no structure. It's not really a system, it's a placeholder. And here's the issue. If your website's not answering key questions, the burden shifts to you and it's on your time. They call, they email, they DM you for basic questions. They have to wait for your reply. They reply back. And suddenly your marketing requires all of this manual labor. Remember, your ideal client trades money for time. If your website makes them work to get answers to determine if they want to work with you, they'll leave. They just go to the next tab. Now, smart websites, they do these 3 things, not 10 things, just these 3. They position. Within seconds, it should clearly say who you are, what you specialize in, what suburbs you serve, and give a general feel for the investment level that you work with based on the pictures that you're sharing. If someone has a 5K budget and they land on your site and your minimum starting value really is around the 50K mark, they should quickly leave your website, knowing that you're too high end for them. It should be really obvious. This shouldn't be hidden. Remember, vagueness attracts everyone, and attracting everyone is how you start competing with everyone. A smart website doesn't just collect names. It asks for their suburb, the scope of the project, their timelines. And if they fall out of your set criteria, they're politely told you can't work with them, and they're given additional details where they can go. This isn't about arrogance. This is about efficiency for your business. This is your time, and your time is money. And remember, in a tightening market, your time is even more valuable. Your website needs to start protecting it. And the last thing that your website needs to do is convert. You should have a calendar embedded into your website so people can book straight away. Your process should be really clearly articulated on your website so no client is left wondering what happens next. If someone arrives on your website and they're ready to move on at 9:30 at night, they shouldn't have to wait 3 days to hear from you. Because momentum matters here. The easier it is to book with you, the higher your conversion rates. Okay, now let's talk about SEO, search engine optimization, and let's talk about it in the right way. Now, trying to get your business found on Google required some search engine optimization. The way this used to be done was just stuffing keywords, landscaper in Brighton, landscaping services, just stuffing them all over your web pages. But now it's changed. It's all about trust. Google doesn't want to just see keywords. It wants to know if you're real, authentic, if you're trustworthy. Are you active in the suburbs that you say you are? Do you show proof of your work on your website, or are you just using stock images? Do you have reviews? Have you responded to those reviews? Does your site load quickly? If your site takes too long to load and people bounce off, that tells Google that this is not a place they want to send people. So if your site loads slowly, I can leave a link in the show notes if you did want to test your site speed. If you're using stock photos, if you haven't even mentioned specific suburbs, and if your content is outdated, you're basically invisible to the exact clients that you're trying to attract. And here's what most landscapers miss. Wealthy clients are quietly researching. They're not calling 5 random contractors. They've got a list of 2 or 3 that feel really well established. And if your site feels amateur, you're never making that shortlist. And as I'm sure you're all aware, AI is changing search. Whilst Google is still the predominant search engine, there are people now just going into ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and typing, who's the best landscaper in my area for high-end natives? And AI search tools now are going to websites and scanning for clarity and authority. So if your website is vague, passive, static. You don't exist in that ecosystem. But if your site is structured, content rich, specific, you become the recommended option. Now, I'm not just talking about trends here. I'm talking about how you're going to future-proof your business. We've already said, and we've said in previous episodes, demand is softening. We know competition is going to continue to increase. And as new businesses enter into the trades, fully competent with tech solutions, and if your business has a website that functions like it did in 2010, you will have new businesses taking clients that don't have the same skill set as you, that couldn't complete the job as well as you, but have just won on their digital presence. In a busy market, you can survive on hustle. In tighter markets, your systems will win. So if you're still running a website where you or your hubby has to manually respond to every inquiry that comes in via a contact form, has to manually qualify every lead, finding out which suburb they're in, what they want done, has to manually schedule every initial site visit, reschedule if there's a delay, has to manually chase every follow-up, you don't own a scalable business, guys. You own a job with a really old website. Once you've got yourself a smart website, this thing will filter opportunities for you. They'll cite visits in for you. They'll log all that data in your back-end system. They'll send you reminders. They'll send client reminders. They'll trigger follow-ups. Your website becomes an employee, and a good employee, one that doesn't disturb your dinner. Okay, so date night challenge. This one's easy, but can get brutal. I'm going to leave you a prompt in the show notes. All I want you to do is where it says my website, to delete the my website, put your website in, and then take this prompt and pop it into your AI engine of choice, if it's ChatGPT or Gemini, whichever one you feel most comfortable using, and just hit go. It's going to go and take a review of your website and give you some honest feedback. Have a read, and this will give you a starting point of where you need to go with your website. It's going to give you clarity. And once you have clarity, you have direction. If you do not have a website, then I think it's really important that you invest in getting a website up and running. We're able to do this through Hive Drive. We have templates that you can have up and running in minutes. There really is no excuse now not to have a website. I know there's a lot of search that's happening in other areas like social media, AI search, but dominant search is still through Google. And if we're talking about securing your business, securing your future, it's really important you have all areas covered. And if you identify you have an old website and you need to update it, you can either update it on the platform that you're on, or you can just grab one of our templates. You'll have an updated website live in minutes, so you can move on to the next thing. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode of Married to Landscaping. I am your host, Jasmine Shack, and as always, I'm so grateful you chose to spend some time with me today, and I hope you got something out of it. And if this show is helping you shift from chaos to clarity, a review or a like helps us reach more landscaping families building a life by design. If you're looking for more, I'm building a community of like-minded landscaping ladies, somewhere where we just all get it, where everything's relevant, because I'm always looking for ways to save time and speed up success. In this space, we'll host regular Q&A sessions, share the systems we're implementing in our landscaping business, and bring in industry experts that fast-track your growth. For those that want to dive a little deeper, I'll leave a link in the show notes where you can book a free strategy call with me. We can look at key areas that are holding your business back and map out how we can strengthen some of your systems. Now, as always, remember, we plant systems with intention and we grow freedom by design.
Save money, scale with ease. All in one, help if you please.